Good evening. I would like to welcome you to the second and regular meeting of July 2025. Superintendent Schneiders has 4 days prior to today provided each of the board members a packet of information and reference to the items on tonight's agenda. This packet is for our review and to have questions or concerns addressed. At this time, I would like to call this meeting to order with a moment of silence. Our vision here at North Spencer is to provide inviting and challenging learning opportunities for everyone. We'll begin with roll call. Chris Floor.
Present.
Dave Waninger.
Present.
Jennifer Aldridge. Wayne Brinkman.
Present.
Brittany Giles.
Present.
And Jennifer Rich is absent this evening. First item on the agenda is approval of minutes.
I'll make a motion to approve.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. The next item on the agenda is the treasurer's report.
In your folder, I have included a statement of funds. If there's any questions, we have to try to answer those. Just a reminder, some changes on the preschool and how that's been, essentially how that's been coded. That's been coded under now North Spencer Preschool. And we're tracking the individual preschools on the side. For your purposes, you'll see a North Spencer Preschool moving forward.
Make a motion to approve.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is consideration of claims.
The claims for this docket total $305,588.57. All the items there are items you can all vote on. Nobody needs to abstain. If there's any questions, I'd be happy to answer those. Otherwise, I would recommend you approve the claim docket.
Claim number 107631 is the new line board announced. Is that the next one? Yep.
Chad 107654 GABCBC. Is that? It's only for
107.56.
yeah, 107654. $1,947 for lease rental agreement. I've seen it on there before, but I can't remember what that is. Nothing's.
I have to follow up with you on that. Wayne, got it here. It's just corporation purchase services and the amount that you see. It's a lease rental payment, but I'll have to follow up on you with the specifics of it.
Thank you.
I'll make a motion to approve the claims listed.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Next item on the agenda is personnel considerations. We have leave.
We have 2 leaves for you to consider. I recommend approving those requests.
Second.
All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Resignations, there are none this evening.
Like that.
Appointments,
Appointments, we have the following appointments, I'll read them off here. For elementary PE teacher, this is recommend Mr. Leon, Mrs. Schmidt recommend that Eric Hendrickson be assigned to that position. Another appointment, elementary technology media teacher, recommend that Abby Gallion be assigned to this position. Lincoln Trail preschool assistant, Mr. Leon recommends that Elizabeth McDonald be assigned to that position. According to table, the middle school instructional assistant, we've had some shuffling just with other situations that I'll inform you at a later meeting. We have Heritage Hills Middle School 8th grade volleyball coach. Mr. Engelbrecht and Mrs. DeVillies recommend that Carrie Engelbrecht be assigned to that position. We also have a middle school football coach appointment. Recommend that Hunter Meredith be assigned to that position. At the high school level, we have an assistant football coach appointment. Mr. Engelbrecht and Mrs. Kress recommend that Eric Hendrickson be assigned to that position. We have some ECA positions here at the high school. For show choir sponsor, Mrs. Kress recommends that Kirby Dawson be assigned to that position. And also recommends as a fine arts academic coach that Kirby Dawson be assigned to that position. Lastly, we have at the high school, middle school, strength and conditioning teacher, Mrs. Kress, Mr. Temple, Mr. Engelbrecht, and Mr. Wilkerson recommend that Alex Hay be assigned to that position. If there's no questions, I'd recommend you approve those requests.
So moved.
Second.
all in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Others? None. We have patron comments. Does anyone like to speak to the board?
Yeah, with 1 second. My name is Keith Cole. Most of you, I think, know who I am. We were on vacation, me and my family, 2 weeks ago. I returned from vacation and I went to mow the grass and I noticed that the fence was damaged on the school side. I have taken pictures, did a small video. So if anybody wants to look at that, they're free to look at my phone to see those. When I come with a problem, I also come with a solution. The solution for this is that either I could fix it and then submit a bill of things that I've used to fix the fence, or you all could find a fence repair person and have them come fix the fence yourself. So that's kind of my solution, so I figured you just want to give me a call.
Yeah,
Do you have my number?
I bet I can find it.
Okay,
So, yeah, appreciate you saying something. I
Sure.
can follow up with you for sure.
okay, sounds great.
Yep.
All right, thanks. All right.
Thanks for coming in. Thank you. Anybody else? Okay, then we'll move to old business. Project update from Steph Nagle Group.
Well, we're fortunate to have Angela Burton here. It looks like she brought some friends with her. So Angela, you want to talk to us about the ongoing projects at the middle school, high school, and also the elementary playgrounds?
So, Heritage Hills CT middle school renovations, scheduled completion date of August 1st. Great news, the Heritage Hills middle school office was turned over Friday, July 25th. Contractors do have a few punch list items to finish up, but I think hopefully they'll be excited about being in their new home in the office. The Phase K, which is the southmost, basically, science areas, and moving classrooms as well as the lobby space. Contractors will be completing painting all the areas, completing all the new floor covering, punch list items, all the remaining HVAC equipment startups, test and balancing, and also completing the final construction. Cleaning process. The phase out weight room, the substantial completion date was July 19th. They have completed all of that other than some punch list items. those as well. CTE, great news, the switchgear finally arrived. That work has been completed, the power outage went great, appreciate the school's cooperation in that, and getting that switchgear replaced and back up and running. Questions on the CTE middle school project?
So will there still be contractors in the building when school starts here in 2 weeks in the middle school?
They will be working potentially before school hours and after school hours or as needed throughout the building. However, it will not disrupt class to finish the specialist items.
And what's the date on phase K, the classrooms and hallways and things, is that August 1st as well?
Correct.
So it should be plenty of time for teacher move in and student, yeah.
Yep.
Thanks.
We've actually been coordinating pretty closely with Mr. Peters and also building principals to make that magic happen.
Pictures look great,
Yeah.
especially the lot, having the entrance, the admin office looks really nice.
Big transformation. I'm excited to hear what the incoming eighth graders have to say about the new space.
I don't think they'll notice a difference anymore. The middle schoolers.
Moving on to the 2025, the classroom high school renovations, classroom improvements, which is the 200 hallway. That was 9 classrooms, 201, 203, 205, 207, 211, 213, 215, 217, and 219. 9 classrooms this summer. Metters Construction has completed their work and actually Slade finished up their casework Friday. A few little punch list items that are dated, but furniture deliveries, actually I caught him this evening, they have arrived and started checking out the student desks and chairs and furniture. Probably by the end of the day, Thursday after. The Herschel High School interior renovations, also in the wellness area. That substantial completion date is also August 1st. Final completion date on that was September 1st. We do have some supply registers returns. They have to relocate some sprinkler heads in those rooms, which is electrical device plates, cover plates. And trying to get a lot of the overhead work done prior to installing the flooring. And last thing they just installed the October time. Any questions on the high school interior improvements? Moving on to the hard ones. So exterior work has the 2025 Christmas playground improvements, both the main playground as well as the pre-K playgrounds, and Lincoln Trail playground improvements, and Nancy Hanks improvements. Unfortunately, we have had, just for the fun of it, I figured out how much rainfall we've had at Christmas alone between July 1st and 23rd. We've had 8.35 inches of rain. Along with the sweltering heat the past few days, just the weather has not been our friend on these exterior playground projects. The good news is Metters Construction as well as Play Pros have been working very diligently as weather has allowed. They have completed the main playground installation of concrete curbs. The pre-K playground, they actually completed setting the fence post and pouring of those curbs. Play Pros is on site. They started installation of the play equipment. Actually today they finished the swing set. Few miscellaneous pieces, and then they'll be starting on what we consider the large piece of a large structure here shortly. After they are finished pouring, actually the pour scheduled for tomorrow and Thursday. At Christmas, their Metters Construction will be jumping over to Lincoln Trail and starting on the concrete curbs there. And Christmas Play Pros that is supposed to bring in, I think they're going to bring in another crew to kind of help them maybe start over the day as well. So Lincoln Trail, Nancy Hanks, those two projects probably will be going into school, and we've been working with the principals as well as the contractors, which we had known that some of that project was going to overlap with school. but we've had collisions in high school. Questions on the playgrounds improvements?
Do you expect to get this and finish?
Yes.
And the playgrounds we do, they have other playgrounds, so.
Yes, correct. That's all I have as far as school business, other than, roofing.
Yeah,
And
so-
for the playgrounds that won't be done by the time school starts, how much time do you think it'll be into school, that they'll still be working?
The original substantial completion date, we had, August 14th, for these tanks, so we're probably about 3 weeks behind currently with the weather delays. So I'd say right now I would anticipate probably end of August. Which might be, we have some sod and things like that too, so usually towards the end of August, beginning of September is when it's the best time for that sod too, so that should all work out really well. Anybody have that question for me?
Yeah, I think so we have Brendan Baker and Michelle Leach here, and, so they're with Commercial Management. And came in and did the roof analysis on the middle school roof and also the career and technical ed building. So Brendan's gonna give us, kind of a summary of that analysis.
I appreciate it. We did an analysis about a month ago on both the CTE and the middle school roof. And both of them are comprised of metal panel, roof systems. The CTE building actually has 2 metal roofs on it. So it has the original roof, I believe it was a prefab metal building when it was built originally, or very similar. And then in 1999, both the middle school and the CTE building both got another application. The middle school was built, and then the CTE building then got another application of a metal over the top of it. After the analysis, we did notice that the middle school has a rubber membrane underneath it that looks to be keeping it somewhat dry right now. Due to the flashings, the seams, fasteners, and gutters are all in a state of advanced deterioration. So there's some concerns with that, and then the both of the roof systems have similar problems because they're similar systems and they were both installed at about the same time. We did detail out a report. I believe everybody on the board may have got a copy of it. If not, Chad does have a copy of that. So we put all the detailed information in there for you. We also provided some recommendations to the school on how to get some of the projections that are leaking currently repaired temporarily and the skylights temporarily repaired. Our next step would be to work with the board to get to a solution and what your options and budgets are for the next step. Any questions?
So you said that the 2 systems were, and that was 1999 middle school, right? So the same system that was on the middle school was placed on top of the CTE, on top of the existing metal roof, correct?
Correct, I believe so, yes.
So in your assessment, do you feel that both the middle school and the CTE are in equal condition and they both are in desperate need of replacement? Can they be staggered? What are your findings?
You could stagger them, absolutely, but they're both in advanced state of deterioration. So basically what I mean by that is they're similar in deterioration level. So the rust, the gutter systems are rusted out. We actually have holes in some of the areas where it's rusted through. Fasteners backed out, fasteners been sheared off. So they're right now, we're in a state of fix leaks as they occur. Don't spend money too proactively because we're not getting any value out of it for the long term. So, you're probably looking at a situation where you may be able to get another 3 years out of it, but you're gonna continually grow with more headaches, and more leakage. Right now, the middle school, we documented several areas of leak infiltration, but what's happening is it's getting underneath the metal, but the rubber sheet underneath it is keeping the water out, so it sheds down to the lower valley part under the gutter, and then there's soffits, and your soffits deteriorating. So we're starting to get into some structural issues. So the longer we wait, the higher the cost, because then the more the deterioration exaggerates. Does that make sense to that?
Sure, so, I mean, just looking at the buildings, the CTE building is far less complicated, right? I mean, it doesn't have nearly as many hits and valleys and air walls and those kinds of things, correct?
Right. So if you were gonna delay one or the other, or if the economics force you in the situation of delay, that would be the route that we'd wanna go after to try to keep temporarily water out, keep water out and fight the battle. There's so many valleys, hits and ridges, on the middle school that it just compounds the problem.
I just have one question, if that's okay. So without doing a complete destruction of the roof that's there, how do you know how extensive the damage of the underlying substructures to know, to be able to get an accurate quote on how much that replacement's going to be?
Well, other than taking strategic cuts and opening up the roof in strategic locations to try to get an idea, we don't know. So we have to prepare and plan for the worst case scenario underneath.
The CTE building itself with 2 layers, I mean, so some of the cost difference is that it's removing material for 2 layers of metal, is that what's there now, or is it?
What we would do in that situation is lift off the top layer and then take out all the insulation out of that and use that existing original metal roof as an existing deck and go back over.
Okay,
So we wouldn't take both roofs off of it, no need to, number one.
And that's the one that's underneath is not a standing seam on the CTE building.
It's fluted. So it's a little different.
Sure, I'm gonna get.
And are there current active leaks in CTE as well coming into the classrooms?
So the roof that's on the middle school now, is it affiliated, just like what the CT first roof was? Is that the same?
I'm sorry now?
Okay, the CT building, you said the very first roof that
Yes.
you put on that, is that the same as what's on the middle school now?
No.
Different?
The first roof was completely different, because it was the original roof that came with the structure of the prefab building. From what we could see,
From what you could tell, is that a
and from
decent?
past plans.
I mean,
Yes, it doesn't have to be a watertight roof, it's gonna act as basically the foundation of the roof, just like it's on there now.
I know originally we had hoped possibly recoating. Are there any recoating materials in the market today that you would recommend, or that's out of the question?
The problems that we have right now, coating's not gonna stop the water infiltration, it's not an option. Now, however, if you maintain, if a metal roof is installed correctly from day one and it's maintained and it's under good design and functional, and you do preventive maintenance on it every year, you do have an option to recoat or what we call roof restoration, using different kinds of acrylic coatings and elastomeric coatings on metal roofs. So there's an option there. We're kind of
Beyond
past
that,
that
beyond that.
in this situation.
Is the estimate you gave, or someone gave an estimate here, is that worst case scenario, or is that an average, what you're expecting?
Very conservative. So let me say this, I have to prepare you for the worst case scenario. Because of the situation that you have here, we don't know all the answers of what's underneath, so we have to make provisions in the specifications. When they remove the panels and we see this, and they have to remove all the insulation down to the deck, you're budgeted for it. So you're in the worst case scenario with what that budget was. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Right.
Chad shared the packet, the survey that you had done.
With all the pictures.
Okay,
It did look like in some small areas you were able to pull back or access the under
Yeah.
the insulation and things.
Several
like that.
areas, yeah.
So that helped you get a good feel of how bad it really was.
Correct.
It wasn't like you're kind of looking at it. I mean, I stood at the baseball field the other night at the Legion game, and I could see some of those things that were in the illustrations about corners and soffits and things. That looked
Well,
pretty
and we
nice.
also have some issues too, and that's a great point, I'm glad you brought that up. The way that building was designed, there's a lot of areas where the metal roof panels meet the walls of the structure, and the through wall flashings go in behind the metal. So what I mean by that is you've got a lot of wall leaks contributing to the problem over there too, that have to be addressed. So part of that budget is to address those walls as well. Keep the water from getting into the walls and coming inside the building as well.
What would the timeline look like if we decided to act on the middle school, for example? What would the timeline from start to finish be?
On just the middle school,
Just the middle school?
you're probably looking at a 2.5 to 3 month job.
Anybody else have any questions for you?
All good questions, thank you very much. They were very good questions.
Thank you for coming.
Yes.
Yeah,
my
we really
pleasure.
appreciate your
Thanks.
time.
Our pleasure, thank you.
And next business would be new business. Concerning the demolition of recently purchased school property.
So, I shared with you, actually, you have it, in your folder, underneath your folder, I think I put that. Bids for demolition of, the recent property we purchased next to Christie Elementary. So we have several options there. My recommendation is going with, the low bid provided by Matters Construction. They do have several options, and Angela, I don't know if you're able to kind of maybe help us talk through this a little bit, but there's the base proposal, and then there's two alternates. And these alternates actually lessen the amount, lessen the total cost. So, Angela, I don't know if you can maybe talk to us a little bit about those two alternates.
Sure, so, alternate number one was to leave the basement foundation only. And with that, what they would do is leave the basement foundation as it is. I think it's basically 3/4 of the house itself actually has a basement underneath it. So that would, the basement foundation only would remain in place, the basement walls would be taken out. Then they would break the basement slab up for drainage. So essentially you're just taking punctures and holes in it, allow for drainage and such, and then they would start their active backfilling on that. One of the things that Betters Construction did submit a proposal as a voluntary alternate for, and it was actually another deduct option, was to run a crushed aggregate stone versus using a pit run. So pit run is essentially, they will do a density test for compaction. And they will take that compaction and bring it up in lifts to make sure everything is compacted properly. Where the crushed aggregate has basically the same properties and they will do the same compaction testing. It's just a difference in material that the contractor has proposed to allow a deduct to the school corporation to utilize that material. So felt comfortable with presenting it as the base proposal along with the suggestion of the alternate number one for a deduct as well as the voluntary alternate for the crushed aggregate as another deduct option.
Is there a benefit knowing that the potential of perhaps doing a drive-in there at some point? Is there one that would be less rework in the future?
I think the way that it has currently been put, the scope of work has been put together was with that intention in mind, and hence the reason for the compacted material. We want to be sure that if the school does want to come back in some sort of structure or drive or what have you, that everything has been compacted to meet those requirements.
Is that why you require the compression test?
So Patriot Engineering was the geotech engineer they'll have to come out and do the compaction testing and provide the test reports on file that they've done those compactions in place. So it will be monitored by a geotech engineer.
Because I'm asking, is that necessary if we're not gonna be building over there or anything like that? Because I know those are very expensive.
It's included with the proposal.
It is over there, yeah.
Yep, it was included with their proposal.
Angela, you may have answered with Chris's question, but I'll ask it maybe a different way, that if we leave part of the foundation and have the deduct, there's nothing in the future in our current estimated plans that we would need, that would, if that foundation remained, we'd never be probably going back down there anyway, below that surface.
Not unless you put a basement underneath it, and that would be the only.
Doubt that would happen, but yeah, okay, thank you.
The one thing I do want to point out is they did have an alternate number 2 to excavate and to grade. And actually, that was something that Metters also had included with their base proposal for the work, because their plan was to utilize to excavate the area, kind of smooth it out a little bit and make it look nice. And then to also hopefully be able to utilize some of that material there on site for doing compaction work as well, along with the proctors. So that can help them to be able to level that out and make it nice and smooth and top it off.
Chad or Angela, are we on any certain timeline to do it with the town?
Sooner.
Sooner than later.
Sooner than better.
Okay.
Angela, what's your recommendation?
I would do Scott and I discussed it, and I talked about it, and I know we had Mr. Shear had a conversation as well. And we would recommend doing the base proposal as well as the deduct alternate one, as well as the voluntary alternate, and then know that we will have Patriot Engineering monitoring the compaction.
I'd like to make that motion.
Also,
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, next item under new business, consideration of agreement for athletic trainer services. This is an agreement we've had with Norris Wesson and Wittenberg Orthopedics going back several years. Would like to request from the board that we continue that agreement for the 25-26 school year.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Next item, we have several investments that are maturing and I've made, Jerry and I have done some research on this and I've made some suggestions for our communications. Would recommend that you approve the recommendations made in your notes.
So
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is request, and we have no field trips, and we have no professional leave, so use of facilities.
The only facilities request have is one that's already happened, but I communicated with you. The Rockport American Legion is very thankful for the use of the baseball field to help them out. Must have been during that how many inches of rain did we get? Must have been during that time that the field they typically play on wasn't available to be played on, so we're happy to help them with that. Recommend you approve that request.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. Next item is superintendent's report.
Just a few items to share, just some things I've been working on here the last couple of weeks. We had talked previously about helping our new teachers as they come into the profession through an official, trying to get it to a place where it's an official mentor-mentee program. Pairing year 1 and 2 teachers with veteran North Spencer teachers. I'm very happy to say that worked with the admin team on that, and most recently met with the evaluation committee made up of teachers throughout North Spencer, and kind of put some I guess, finishing touches and then next steps on how we're gonna move forward. So I'm very happy about that, and I think that'll be really good for our new teachers that are coming on board. Would like to, gosh, Angela, I wish you weren't here. I was gonna compliment the Steph and I over on something. A couple of weeks ago, I did a one-year walkthrough with Mr. Budorf through the CTE building. So basically, they wrapped everything up about a year ago, and Tim met with myself, Mr. Wilkerson, and all the contractors, and walked around, and a lot of things still look really good and are doing what they're supposed to, but then we did find some small things that we have a plan for making them the way they're supposed to be. So I was very thankful for Tim for doing that. It was very well done. And then lastly, between all the new things I'm learning, staffing has been going on feverishly. So we've been working really hard at that, and I'd like to thank really the admin team and all those folks who have been helpful in getting us ready for the 25-26 school year.
No others? Going to ask for an adjournment in the meeting.
I'll move to adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried. We will now go into executive session.
Thank you.
Thank you, Heather.